Let's keep building out the size and strength. Come on now, let's build that muscle. Let's get into tempo and time under tension. These numbers I will explain. In a movement, in one single rep, you have 4 segments. The first segment is the movement on the way down. In technical terms, that's eccentric. Then you have a pause at the bottom. Then you go up, concentric is technical term, and then you pause at the top. So a bicep curl, in this case, 3 seconds down, 1 second pause at the bottom, 1 second up, 1 second pause at the top, and then it repeats, 3 seconds down. So each number is represented by individual things, and these are in seconds. So for this particular case, what we're going to do is give you a little bit of demonstration. Let's do a lateral raise. So again, 1 second up, 1 second pause, 3 seconds down, 1 second pause, 1 second up, and it just continues from there. This movement here starts with the upward movement. That's this one. So we start at the third number in. Tempo, when it is written, it is always the movement on the way down. Eccentric movement is always the first number, and it goes from there. So something like a deadlift, where you're picking something up starting from the bottom, that's right, third number in. That's 1 second up, 1 second pause, 3 seconds down, and so forth. The squat, you start at the top, 3 seconds down, so that's when it applies. Exercises that start at the top are a little bit better to understand, but this number, the first number, is always the downward movement. So how tempo and time under tension applies to building muscle, size and strength? Well, the movement on the way down is an important one. That is easier than the movement on the way up. However, this is where you build the size. The downward movement is where the muscle builds most size. You can handle more weight on the way down. That's why you go slower. When you find at the end of the set, it's so hard to get it right back up, but it's not as excruciating to go back down. That is a good, that's a good way of understanding that, yes, the movement on the way down you can handle. It's easier, so go slower. More slow at the end of a set when it's harder to get the weight up. Get the most out of it by going down slow. So this first number here is extremely important. That's why it's the longest, why it's more than all the other movements. So when it comes to building size and strength, this first number, don't sleep on that one. That one, you don't want to blast through a set. You don't want to do 10 repetitions in 20 seconds, because that means each rep is 2 seconds long. In this case, 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 6. If you're doing 10 reps at this tempo, that should take you 60 seconds. You can imagine doing lateral raises for 60 seconds. If this is true 3, 1, 1, 1 second parts, then it will take 60 seconds. A lot of the times what you see at the gym is guys doing this, like they're a bird flying away, trying to fly. Lifting weights is not about momentum. It's not about how many reps you can do, because when you have that mentality, you end up in the, well, I'm just going to do 10 reps as fast as I can. And there I did my 3 sets of 10. That's not what building muscle is all about. It is all about the result. It is not about finishing your program as fast as possible. You want the result. If you focus on the mind to muscle connection, this tempo is going to give you a great mind to muscle connection. That is when you can really focus on the muscle working and get those muscle fibers going like crazy. That movement on the way down, again, don't sleep on that one. That one is the most important part of the movement when it comes to building out your size. So again, go over these movements. Understand eccentric, because I will say it a lot. I want to make sure you understand that one. But as far as building the size, make sure you have the right tempo. And then the time under tension, that part is next. When you have a repetition that is lasting 6 reps, 3 seconds to start it off, that is a lot of tension. When you have a movement where you're constantly moving as well, that changes. So if it's 3, 0, 1, 0, where you're not pausing at the top and bottom, if you're always moving, that is under extreme tension. So that's where you get a lot of good time under tension. So 10 reps to do this tempo, that takes you 60 seconds. Imagine your muscle under tension for 60 seconds. That is going to build you some size and strength. Take a look at the video down below where I explain a little bit more practical terms, easier to understand. I demonstrate, and it's just a little bit easier to understand, so make sure you check it out.